Can a few lines of text encompass this genius who filled the world with inventions, occupied people with ideas throughout the 20th century, and is now resurfacing in the first decades of the 21st century, especially after the child prodigy Elon Musk brought his name back and revived his memory through products based on his theories. Nikola Tesla was not an ordinary name in the history of modern life. He was an inventor, physicist, mechanical and electrical engineer, a researcher in the sciences of ancient civilizations, especially Egyptian pharaonic civilization. There are those who attribute many of his innovations to what he has reached from their sciences that are still secret. In fact, he was the first to present an unprecedented vision of the pyramids, the main purpose of which goes beyond the idea of the tomb that filled the books. Was Tesla's life a comedy or a tragedy? Perhaps it was a drama in one way or another. Many of those who wrote his biography attribute the greatest cause of the pain Tesla knew to Thomas Edison, who is credited with the invention of electricity, while a group of scientists say that Tesla is the owner of the story. Where do we start the story of Tesla, the child who went astray from the path of churches and temples to reach the laboratories, and from there he offers humanity what many preachers who use wooden language cannot do, and without the heat of faith, which the young Serbian boy knew how to turn into a current that flows in wires to electrify the world east and west. Tesla is the son of a Serbian priestly family. The contradictions in the life of the child Nikola Tesla begin at his birth in Catholic Croatia, while fate chooses for him a Serbian Orthodox priestly family to be born to on July 10, 1856 in the town of Smiljan, which was geographically within the borders of the Austro-Hungarian Empire at that time. His father is the Orthodox priest Milutin Tesla, and his mother is Juka Mandic, who is also the daughter of a Christian Orthodox priest. Thus, fate was trying to make the newborn child a priest by default, as is the case with conservative religious families in those times. The father wanted his son to follow the same path, i.e., to become a missionary or preacher. However, the boy seemed to have seen his way through other paths and tracks. Was Tesla's mother the first to open his eyes to the path of inventions? She could not read or write, but she was so intelligent that she invented many small household appliances. This sparked the boy's love of physics and mathematics and led him to leave his small town to complete his primary education in Gospić, Croatia. He then moved to Germany to continue his secondary education before joining the Technical University Institute of Graz, Austria, in 1875. Tesla did not obtain a university degree from Graz, as he attended as an auditor. However, his genius was evident, and he was hired by the Telegraph and Telephone Company in Budapest, Hungary. He excelled in his work and added a number of improvements to the company's devices. He is also said to have invented a telephone amplifier, but he did not obtain a patent or even a public recipe. From Paris to New York and Edison. In his mid-20s, Tesla left for France to join the company of Thomas Edison in Europe, which was then working on the design and development of electrical devices. This was in 1882. The Serbian-born, Croatian-born boy did not stay in Europe for long. His experience working at Edison's company in France opened his eyes to the new world in the United States and to the promising opportunities there. So he packed his bags in 1884, after only 2 years in Europe, heading for the port of European immigrants, New York, specifically in the famous Manhattan neighborhood. When Tesla's feet touched American soil, the young man, who was about 28 years old, had only a few cents, not dollars, but next to them were drawings of a flying machine, according to one of his biographers, Inez Whitaker Hunt. It was not the flying machine that would later make Tesla famous. He continued to work on refining alternating current motors. Was fate leading Tesla to the United States at this particular time? Perhaps that was indeed the case, as he arrived at the right time, as that period was witnessing a dispute over the uses of different types of electricity in life. However, perhaps what was not good in Tesla's journey was his meeting with Thomas Edison, the American inventor and businessman, who treated Tesla with traditional pragmatism, exploiting his need for money, and perhaps later stealing the most important work that the Serbian boy did in his life. In short, Tesla worked with Edison as an electrical engineer, and with his great intelligence he was able to simplify many difficulties and solve many technical complexities in Edison's companies. The most important work that Tesla did was to redesign Edison's direct current generator. Edison saw from afar that his boy was capable of making a major qualitative shift that was very important in the electricity business, not only in his company, but in the history of electrical inventions from the beginning. Tesla announced at the time his ability to redesign Edison's generators and mechanisms, and in order to entice the latter to continue his work, he promised him a reward of $50,000 if he did, which was very surprising from Edison, who was known for his stinginess with his workers, given the financial liquidity crisis he was experiencing at the time. Tesla did not believe that Edison could break his promise, and on this basis he exerted efforts for months, which made him accomplish the task he promised. When Tesla asked Edison to fulfill his promise, the latter mocked him by saying, "Tesla, you don't know the American sense of humor," and instead of the $50,000, he offered him a weekly bonus of $10, to become his weekly salary $18, while Edison earned from Tesla's invention hundreds of thousands, which have become millions and billions in the value of our era. Tesla rejected Edison's unethical deception and immediately resigned to go his own way. 7 Nikola Tesla inventions that never came to light. Tesla's innovations. Tesla had many innovations that continue to resonate to this day. His alternating current AC transformer system is capable of transmitting power efficiently over long distances. According to analysts, the world still uses AC electricity, and the production and transmission of electricity still rely on Tesla's ideas. Even household appliances and electric cars rely on some of his ideas and innovations. In 1891, Tesla invented what became known as the Tesla coil, a device that transmits electricity wirelessly. This idea is the basis for what is used today in radios, televisions, mobile phones, and other electronic equipment. A Tesla coil is an electrical circuit that produces a high-voltage AC current. It has also been used in modern lighting systems, fluorescent and neon lamps, and the generation of X-rays. 2 years later, Tesla and Westinghouse won a bid to light the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago to celebrate the 400th anniversary of the discovery of America by Europe. As a result of this exhibition, Tesla's star shone so brightly that he was assigned the task of building a hydroelectric power station on Niagara Falls, which was considered the world's first hydroelectric power station. Tesla's inventions and contributions. Tesla filed over 30 patents for his idea and was invited to give a speech to the American Institute of Electrical Engineers about his work. He also spoke to newspapers about the importance and benefits of AC over DC. In the following years, Tesla founded his own laboratory, where he worked on experiments in the field of wireless communication and power transmission. He made significant progress in this field. It was like a glimpse into the future. The man wanted to provide electricity to the whole world wirelessly, using towers that would be installed in a radius of several kilometers, depending on the intensity of the current emitted from them. Based on this idea, modern telecommunications companies built towers for mobile networks. The famous banker J.P. Morgan invested in Tesla's project, which was a giant tower on Long Island in New York. The tower was designed to transmit and deliver electricity wirelessly. However, the investment was withdrawn due to doubts about its feasibility after the tower had already begun to be built. Remote-controlled submarines. Tesla was known for his work in electricity, but he also worked in the field of military technologies. Tesla and Alfred Nobel believed that the best way to prevent war was to make it seem like a ridiculous game or to make it catastrophic for the participants, to prevent anyone from getting angry and causing another war. Using this logic, Tesla invented a small boat that could be powered, stopped, and controlled by radio waves. Tesla hoped that the invention would eliminate human participation in battles, stop the construction of warships, and that warships would become useless scrap metal. Tesla's earthquake machine. In 1893, Nikola Tesla was granted a patent for a mechanical oscillator powered by steam. The device used vibration to generate electricity. Tesla told reporters during a calibration test, "The machine caused violent vibrations in my laboratory in New York that almost destroyed the building. Suddenly, all the heavy equipment in the place was flying, and if I hadn't grabbed a hammer and broken the machine, the building would have been demolished on my head in minutes." He added, "I heard a commotion in the street, and the police and ambulance arrived. I told my assistants not to tell anyone what had happened, and we told the police that it was possibly an earthquake. No one knew the truth of what happened that day." This inspired Tesla to create an electromechanical oscillator, earthquake machine, that could be used by scientists to study the geological properties of the Earth and by engineers to locate underground mineral deposits. Tesla never showed his machine to the public, but scientists and engineers used the same principle he envisioned. Tesla's idea of a thought camera. Nikola Tesla was a prolific inventor and engineer who made significant contributions to the development of electricity and other technologies. He was also a visionary thinker, and he often proposed ideas that were ahead of their time. One of Tesla's most bizarre ideas was a device that could capture our thoughts. In an interview with a Kansas City magazine in 1933, Tesla said that he believed that the human eye could be used to record thoughts. He theorized that thoughts would be reflected on the retina of the eye, and that these reflections could be captured and decoded by a machine. Tesla's idea of a thought camera was never realized, but it is still a fascinating concept. If it were possible to create such a device, it would have a profound impact on our understanding of the human mind. Supersonic planes powered wirelessly by ground-based towers. Wireless power transmission is being presented as a new technology that has the potential to revolutionize the way we live and work. However, if Nikola Tesla were among us, he would likely scoff at our narrow thinking. Tesla was a visionary inventor who dreamed of a future where electricity could be transmitted wirelessly over long distances. In 1919, he proposed the idea of a supersonic plane that would be powered by electricity from ground-based towers. Tesla's idea was far ahead of its time, but it is now being explored by scientists and engineers around the world. If successful, this technology could revolutionize air travel, making it faster, more efficient, and more sustainable. Tesla's death ray. Nikola Tesla called this ray the peace ray because he believed that accelerating mercury isotopes to 48 times the speed of sound would produce a beam of radiation that could destroy armies at great distances, limited only by the curvature of the Earth. Tesla tried to market this idea to many governments before his death, including the United States. However, the Soviet Union was the only one that tested it, and the results were not as Tesla had expected. Tesla's failure may be a good thing for humanity. Industrial tidal waves. During his lifetime, Nikola Tesla opposed weapons of mass destruction, but he encouraged their use for peaceful purposes. One of these weapons was industrial tidal waves, which he believed to be a defensive weapon against naval attacks. Tesla hoped to make the largest naval weapons useless, which would discourage militarists from developing such weapons. To achieve his goal, Tesla thought of telautomatons that would launch tons of explosives near enemy ships and destroy them. According to Tesla's calculations, the gas bubble produced by the explosion would produce a wave 30 meters high, capable of destroying the largest warships and sinking them. However, tidal waves do not work in this way, as the United States and the Soviet Union learned when they detonated nuclear explosions underwater in the 1940s and 1950s. In conclusion, was Tesla unlucky until his death? On January 7, 1943, Nikola Tesla passed away at the age of 86. However, his death was not in keeping with a man of such creativity. He died alone in his hotel room in New York City. His body was found by maid Alice Monaghan after she entered his room, ignoring the "Do Not Disturb" sign he had placed on the door 2 days before his death. He died of a heart attack. Tesla died alone, with no wife or children. His funeral was held at St. John the Divine Cathedral in New York City, and he was buried in Ferncliff Cemetery in the city. There is certainly a lot of mystery surrounding Tesla's life and career, and his inventions. It is possible that some of his papers were used by the American government to reach the world of non-physical phenomena and ascend to the world of semi-fictional achievements.